AWS Cloud Technical Essentials. Today we will be getting into introduction to compute, virtualization, instance types, and their pricing. Right, different pricing options that we have in our compute. So, before we start, let me move the slide, and I hope you can see my screen moving. You can see my next slide. Good. Course agenda.
Oh yeah, I see course agenda. Yes.
Okay, great, great. That means it's fine. So today we will be introducing EC2. We will understand how the virtualization environment works. We will go through different instance types. So what are they? What are the different types of these right instances? The pricing model available right in AWS. So how you can optimize your cost right using say these options, and then the best practices that we need to follow when to select right which instance right for our workload. We will right quickly see that. So diving into introduction to EC2, so virtual servers right in the cloud. So before we understand what is EC2, let us understand right virtual machines, right? Virtual machines and hypervisors. Now, virtual machines are software-based computers, right? So these are not real, right? Physical computers. These are software-based computers, right? So these behave exactly like physical computers, right? And it has its own CPU, memory, storage, right? But runs on shared hardware. Now, when we say shared hardware, that means the underlying resource, right, on which the virtual machine is running, right? It is a physical hardware machine, right? So that is actually right. They are located in those data centers, right, that we discussed in our first session, right? So there are physical servers or that physical hardware, right, on which, right, we are actually installing, right, another virtualization layer, and on top of that layer actually we are placing right or we are creating these virtual machines, right? So now the virtualization layer that we are using right to create these virtual machines, right, that is called hypervisor, right? So in hypervisor also we have two types, right? Number one, type one is bare metal, and type two is hosted, right? So the type 1 hypervisor, right, as the name suggests, right, it is bare metal. It sits directly, right, on hardware, right, the physical host, right, the physical server that we have, right. So we install that directly on top of that, right, machine, that physical host, right. And for type 2, that is hosted hypervisor, hosted. That means it is sitting on top of another host operating system, right? So that is why it is right known as hosted hypervisor. So first what we do is first we install the operating system on our physical host, and then on top of that operating system, right, we install right. Now, definitely the efficiency, right, from this diagram here, right, you can see that type 1, right, that is native or bare metal hypervisor. So you have the physical hardware, and on top of that hardware, right, directly you are installing this hypervisor, and then you are creating, right, your virtual machine, right, and each virtual machine, right, will have their own guest operating system, right? They will have their independent operating system, right? And on top of that, definitely you can right run whatever application you need to run. Similarly, for type 2 hosted hypervisor, you have the physical machine, you have the hardware, then on top of that hardware you are right installing that host operating system, right? And then on top of it you are installing that hypervisor layer, right? That is the virtualization layer that right we are installing, and then we are again creating our virtual machines here also, right? These virtual machines will have their own guest operating system, right? So definitely when we say right they will have their operating system, right? So these are independent, right, operating system, so they will have full functionality, right, of operating system, right? So it is not a miniature or anything, right? It is not like Docker, right? When definitely later on, right, we will get into that, right? Why we call Dockers lightweight, right? They are lighter because Docker, when we run containers and everything, right? So they don't have their full operating systems, right? But here, the virtual machines, right? These are heavier, right? Because they have their own, right, operating systems, right?
Okay.
So, yep. So definitely, the efficiency, right, for type 1 is maximum, right? They have low overheads because they don't have that, you can say, right, that hosted, right, operating system, right, that is hosting the hypervisor. So definitely, right, the uh, performance and everything, right, will be better, right, for hosted for your bare metal hypervisors, right? And for type 2 it is lower compared to bare metal, right, because the OS overhead is right there present in this type 2, right, in this infrastructure. So definitely with the hosted, right, or host operating system, so it is also introducing, right, that single point of failure, right? So definitely, if this host OS, right, is failing, right, if this fails, definitely, right, all everything on top of it, right, will be failing, right? So the hypervisor that is sitting on that, right, and all the guest operating system, right, those are available, right? Maybe you have a shared, right, system here, right? The hardware is shared among multiple, say, users and multiple, right, uh, operating systems, your virtual machines, right? So definitely, if there are, say, 500, right, machines running, virtual machines running, right, on top of that physical hardware, right, and the the host operating system, right, is failing. So definitely, it will fail all, right, all those dependent, right, virtual machines along with that, right? So it is introducing that single point of failure, right? So now definitely, when we are actually using these cloud environments, right? So in their data center, generally, right, they are using bare metal hypervisors, right?
Okay.
Not the hosted, right, hypervisors. So generally, right, the hosted hypervisors, right, we are using, right, for development and test local, right, testings, right, for these purposes. When we, right, need to test whether the applications are running across different operating systems, right, or not. So we used to check, right, our applications at different environments, right, in our local systems, right? So say you want to install, right, a hypervisor in your system. So Wilson, have you ever used hypervisors in your local system?
Oh yeah, I've set it up on
Yep.
my because by default it comes with Windows Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've set it
Mm-hmm.
up. Yeah, using hypervisor, um, Oracle One Box, workstation
Okay,
as well.
VirtualBox,
Yeah,
right?
very-
Okay, workstation as well. Very good.
and
Great.
and more mobile X or what they call it, something. Yeah, X
Mm-hmm.
mobile. What's that?
Okay,
Mobile X
okay.
time. Yeah, mobile X time. Yeah.
Mobexterm, yes, Mobexterm. Okay, great. So, okay, and that is right, the type 2 hypervisor, right? Because you are installing on top of, right, an operating system, right? So in your Windows machine, right, you have, right, the OS, right, Windows OS. So that is hosting that hypervisor, right? Whether it is your virtual box, right? So that is type 2 hypervisor that you were using, right?
Okay.
And yep. And the type 1 hypervisor, right? AWS, right? Generally, they are using AWS Nitro, right? This is for modern, right? Instance types, right? So these are for modern instance types. They are using Nitro, and they also have Zen, right? So very commonly used hypervisor, right? Type 1 hypervisor, right? In AWS, right? Environment in cloud, right? So now, getting further, right, what is Amazon EC2? So definitely, right, Elastic Compute Cloud, right? So these provides resizable computing capacity in cloud, right? So definitely, whenever we have a requirement, right, to process data, right, we need compute, right? So using this EC2 service, actually we can provision resources that can, right, compute, right? So we can vary, right, that capacity, right? So we can size them, right? We can change, right, the capacity of these instances, right, as per, right, the workload. So again, here in AWS, right, the virtual machines, right, are referred as instances, right? So when we say, right, EC2, so this is generally, right, we are actually the name of the service, you can say, right? Using this service, we are creating virtual machines, and for the virtual machines, right, the term we are using EC2 instances, right? So, full control, definitely you have full control over, right, access to your operating system, right? So you can, right, you have to update and maintain that patching and everything. You need to do it, right? And as you already know, right, it is a part of, right, your infrastructure as, right, a service, right? Your IaaS, right, infrastructure as service, where you have, right, more control over the underlying resource, right? So you have full control over the operating system that you are installing, right, on top of that virtual machine, that is your EC2 instance. Right, so flexibility definitely launched, right, thousands of instances in minutes, right? So definitely here you can scale. It is, right, flexible. It is, right. You can grow and shrink, right, or scale up, down, scale in, out, right, as, right, needed. So you can launch thousands and right, of instances within minutes. So security definitely built-in firewall is available, right, for your EC2. So again, it is a virtual firewall. We call it security group, right? The security group is a instance level firewall, right? It is a instance level firewall. So using this security group, what we are doing is we are controlling the traffic, right, that is moving in and out of this instance. Yeah, definitely you have configured it, right, previously.
Oh
So
no, security group? No, not yet.
okay, okay, no problem. Okay,
VPC also, I don't have deep knowledge. No, not yet.
okay, no problem at all. Actually, I saw that instance that was running that day, right? That previous day.
Oh,
It
okay.
was
Yeah,
in
it's simple to
stop
create,
state.
but I don't have a deep knowledge. Yeah, it's very
Okay, okay,
straightforward.
you
Yeah,
could.
yeah.
Okay, 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 got it. No problem at all. Okay, we will be doing everything, right? Okay, so these are firewalls, right? These are virtual firewalls, right? So this is actually right, controlling, right, what traffic will enter, right? What request will go out. Okay, so that is what we control, right, using these security groups. So okay, the value of elasticity, definitely, right? Scaling with demand, right? So traditional data center require guessing capacity, definitely, right? How much, right, compute power we need. So definitely that many, right, servers you will be, right, installing, right, in your data center, right? How many networking devices you need, right? Again, you need to guess, right, what will be the capacity requirement, right? Based on that, you will be, right, guessing, or you will try to predict, right? And then you will be ordering those devices, right, physical devices in your data center. But here in cloud, you don't have to, right, guess the capacity, right? So because here everything is flexible, it is, right, you can uh, increase or decrease, right, the capacity, right, based on demand. So EC2 allows you to, right, scale up or down, right, instantly based on, right, actual traffic. So definitely, so for that, right, we have the feature, right, for EC2 that is called auto scaling, right? Auto scaling. So when we, right, enable auto scaling, or when we configure auto scaling, our uh, right, based on demand, automatically, right, our instances, right, will create, right, more instances. And again, when the demand will go down, it will automatically reduce, right, the number of instances, right? So definitely it will eliminate waste, right? So only pay, right, for the compute cycles, right, we actually use, right? Not, right, for resources, those are right, idle, right? So turn off instances during off peak hours, right, to save cost. Okay. So now, definitely, when we are scaling, right, we can go for manual scaling, and we can also go for auto scaling, right? So in manual scaling, you need to actually, right, deploy new instances manually, right?
Um,
Maybe.
I think
Mhm.
your voice is breaking. It's not audible.
Okay. Is it audible now?
Oh, I think it's better now. Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Great. So, definitely, when we are going for auto scaling, right, we don't have to scale it manually, right? Automatically based on demand, right? It will create new instances that will offload, right, the request, right, to other servers. And when we go for manual scaling, so we need to, right, create or deploy, right, those instances manually, right? So we have both the options, right? For to go for auto scaling, we need to, right, configure it, and it will, right, deploy your resources automatically. So next, definitely for off-peak periods, right, definitely it will save cost when, right, we remove instances that is, right, idle, right, but definitely we cannot do that, right, for our uh, on-premises data center, right? So if the servers are not being used, right, so we cannot get rid of them, right, instantly, right, for a day, because, right, that is not feasible, right, for data centers, right? We cannot just remove and install resources, right, so quickly. So how to launch, right, an instance? Definitely, first you need to choose the AMI, right? So AMI is the Amazon Machine Image, right? So here actually what we are doing is we are selecting, right, the operating system. This is the guest operating system that we are selecting for our virtual machine, right? We can select Linux, Windows, right? And also the application, right? Some of the machine images, right, they come with pre-installed applications, right? So and, definitely there are a lot of options available, right, to select from. There are thousands of right of AMIs available, right? And there is a category of right, marketplace. So in marketplace actually, right, there are paid solutions available, right, where you have pre-configured and pre-installed applications, right, in those images. So definitely those are paid, right, not part of the free tier, right, account. So Wilson, I hope you have created your new account, right?
Yes, I've created a new account last class. Yeah, I have
Okay,
it created new one.
great,
For free.
great,
Yeah. Mm.
great, wonderful.
So I'm ready to use it for demo. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So first, right, you need to select that instance, right, image, and then you need to go for, right, the instance type. Okay. So here, using instance type, what you are doing is you are selecting how much CPU you need, how much RAM you need, and what will be the network performance, right, for your instance, right? So definitely, this is what, right, makes it so powerful, right? This is what is flexible, right? You can choose, right, whatever amount of CPU, RAM, right? So definitely for your physical system, right, you cannot do that. You cannot change, right, your CPU instantly, right? You cannot change your RAM instantly, right? You need to go through, right, so many things, right? You need to purchase them, you need to install them, you need to check, right, whether it will be supported, right? What will be the maximum, right, supported, say, RAM, right, in your physical machine, right? So there are many constraints, right, for your physical hardware. But here, when you are going for cloud computing, you can pick, right, whatever CPU, right, RAM you need, right, and you can just assemble, right? It's just like assembling a system, right? You where you just need to select it, and then, right, you will get that. Right. So thousand, right, you can have hundreds and right, thousands of right, these right, configurations available, right? So once you select your instance type, you need to configure, right, the networking, storage, and
Uh,
a IAM role. Yes,
please,
yes,
I have a question.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Sometime I don't know. Maybe you monitor your screen. I used to raise hand so that I'm not going to disturb your presentation.
No, no
Yeah. Do you
problem.
see? I raise hand right now. Do you see?
No, no.
Oh, okay, okay. So, okay, sure. So, picking the right instant type, let's assume they just hire me maybe as a solution architect or maybe database engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they told me that, oh, the database is going to be maybe 20 terabytes and the application is going to be very busy application. So, how will I know the type of instant type to pick that can handle the workload
Yes,
for the
yes.
database size,
So,
the network pooling, and so on? How will I know?
yep, yep.
Where,
So
where am I going to get
definitely,
those information? Yeah,
I,
go
I,
ahead.
I will be coming to that, right? So
Oh,
we are
okay,
not
sure.
yet there. Okay.
Oh, okay,
So how to select, right, the instance type? Okay.
okay, sure.
So
Thank
there
you.
are different types. We will be coming to that. Okay.
Okay,
After
sure.
this. Yes, yes. So once we select the instance type, then we need to configure the network, right? Okay, where we want to actually create this instance, right? So basically, network here in AWS, right, is VPC, that is Virtual Private Cloud. So we need to deploy our instances inside that VPC. So VPC is right a private network, right, where actually we are deploying our instance, right? So then definitely the storage. So this will be the storage, right? That is the root storage by default for your Linux machines, right? It will be 8 GB, and for your Windows machines, it will be 30 GB, right? So definitely that is the default, right, size for the storage. And then IAM role, right? So again, we will be coming to this IAM role later, right? But you have, right, the options to select, right, what will be the IAM role. Again, this is identity and access management roles, right? These are to, right, uh, say provide permissions, right, uh, for, right, the application, right, or the resource, right, permissions. So we will come to IAM roles later when we will be right, getting into IAM service. And then definitely to secure, right, your instance, we, right, need a key pair and security group, right? So we need the key pairs, right, for authentication, right, to connect to our instance, right, to take SSH, the secure shell connection. We need, right, the key pair. So key pair is a combination of a private key and public key, right? So where the private key, right, will stay with us, and the public key will be deployed, right, in the instance. So whenever we need to take, right, connection, we need to take remote connection to our instance, we need to provide that private key, right? So that will authenticate us, right, and allow us to connect to our server. And definitely the security group is there to protect your machine, right, from right, any random, say, access, right? So it will filter out the traffic based on the security group rules. Okay, then coming to AMI, right? So what are these AMIs, right? What is there inside these Amazon machine image? So number one, right, that is definitely the operating system template, right? So definitely when we say that, right, these are image, right? So generally when we say install, right, any operating system in our physical machines, it takes a lot of time, right? It will take around 20 minutes, right? 20 to sometimes 30 minutes, right, to install an operating system in our physical say PCs, right? But here, these Amazon machine images, right? So these images, right, will not take that many time, right? That much time. It will, right? It will be very quick. Within, right, seconds, it will be ready, right? Because these are, right, operating system templates. It is a pre-installed image, right, of the operating system, right? So everything is available. It is, you can say, these are portable, right, kind of images, right? So they come with pre-installed applications also, right? So definitely if, right, you want to go for, right, solutions, right, ready-made solutions, you can go for AWS marketplace, where you will get, right, a lot of options, right, thousands of options for, right, these pre-installed applications. that right you can go for. Again, it will be right paid service, right? And sometimes they offer right free trials, maybe for 30 days, 15 days, like that, right? And once the trial period is over, you need to pay right for that AMI. So you have launch permissions inside, right? Those templates, those images, right? You have launch permissions, right? That okay, which user have right the permissions to right launch them, because again, right, the users that right, say the user that we created, right, or the one that you are getting right when you are creating your account, right, is the root user, right? So root user is the super user. They can do anything right in the account, and that right. So to say provide right say access to multiple users, we generally create IAMI, right, sorry, IAM users, right, or identity and access management users, right? So now definitely we can choose right that okay what all permissions we will allow or deny right for any particular IAM user. So if say they don't have access right to EC2 service. Right. So definitely, if they don't have access to EC2 service, they cannot launch right these instances. Right. So these launch permissions and everything right are there right in AMIs, right. So definitely only the authorized right user can launch right their resources, right, these instances, right, and again in which location, in which region, right. So everything is there in right AMI. And then there is a block device mapping, right? So this block device is the storage device, right? That is already mapped, right? And this is the mapping for the root volume, right? So root volume is the volume, right, where you have right your operating system installed, right? So there is a mapping, right, of that volume. So in the previous session, you asked right that question that if you create right your AMI, right, the image right from the existing instance, whether it will cost you something or not, right? So I told
Okay.
you that yes, it will cost right you for this block mapping, right? So it will be taking up right 8 GB. It will be reserving 8 GB of your EBS. So you need to pay for that 8 GB EBS volume. So that will be actually reserved right for this, right?
Okay. Mm.
Yep, yep,
Quick question, please,
yes,
before you
yes,
move.
yep.
So, um, AMI is like a, you say it's a template, yeah. So, like for
Yes.
example, let's say YouTube or Facebook, or if you go to Google Store Play to download apps, so they've already pre-configured everything. We just need to create user account
Mm-hmm.
um to be using it. Is that what you mean? So everything, all the configure, everything's already set up. So we just have to
Yes,
purchase it done. Oh, okay.
correct,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
It's just like that.
And it's kind of similar to like a snapshot as well that you were talking earlier. Um, that if I create instance and I don't want to delete it, I can create the image of it and reuse the
Yes,
image. Oh, okay.
correct.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
is the image actually. This is the image that actually you will be creating, right? And you can use that image again, right, to launch your duplicate instance.
Oh, okay.